thank you for having me. So you guys understand that Chandler Gilbert has been involved with Jose's now for a few months, that there's sort of a lot of back things going on. Are any of you participating on Into the Streets on Friday and Saturday? Yay! Jose's Closet was picked as one of their organizations, which is just such a huge find for us. I run an all-volunteer organization, including me. I've been doing this now it's been 8 years. So Jose's Closet started. I had a son, Jose. He was 9 at the time. The call came in. He was number 42 of my foster children. So when Jose came and the call came, will you take a 9-year-old that's in remission for leukemia? Yes. It was in December, it was cold, showed up at my door with a red hoodie and boxers. That's it. No shoes, no socks, no pants. We ended up doing a year of battling his cancer. He ended up passing away after a transplant. I took his sister into my home. She was a perfect match genetically. We transplanted, and after all of that extraordinary methods, he still passed away. And after it happened, I lost it and thought, I've got to do something. I'm done with foster care. This is too much to ask of anybody. But months later, when it came to me, and he literally said, as his dying wish, I don't want to be forgotten. Because don't we all want to leave something here? We want to leave a mark that we did something. A child in care, they feel like it didn't matter. There's no blip, there's no family there, there's nobody to have made a difference. He wasn't going to make it into his adulthood and careers, and he wasn't to have a family of his own. So literally the dying wish, don't forget me, and boy, that's a doozy to lay on somebody, right? What do you do with that? But when it passed and some time went away, I realized I had to do something to honor him, and I thought, stuff. He came with nothing. He left with nothing. When his biological dad, showed up at the end, and I'm giving him his stuff, I'm like, there's no stuff to give him. It was everything personal to him. It was the clothing I had bought him. There was no mementos. There was no photos of him being, you know what I mean? So I started this in my garage and thought, I'm just going to tell my friends and family who were grieving, Jose, don't buy flowers. He was 10, he wouldn't want that. Bring me your stuff. And they started, and it started in my garage. Of course, quickly outpaced my garage. Then I went to a storage unit, and we had 10 storage units. Then a couple years later, we went to Apache Junction. They're closing down all their schools, their public schools. It's now turned into an adult community down there, and they won't pass bonds to pass schools. So we were in Thunder Mountain Middle School for 3 years, and the fire department bought it, and so we moved, and now we're in Superstition Mountain Elementary School. We have an entire wing of the school. I have 12 classrooms brimming of staff. We try to be very well organized. If you go on the website, it's josescloset.org. Tons of pictures, but we have a room that's a summer room. We have a room that's a winter room. We service children, infant up to age 21. It's a store. We provide everything a child would need in care. So think of that. And when I say everything, we're talking what you would easily think of: shoes, toys, backpacks. But think about gifts, think about bikes, think about personal care items, think about baby front packs, think about medical supplies for medical babies, oxygen tanks, everything. We service foster, adoption, and kinship families. Statistics, do you guys want to talk a little bit about the numbers? So guess where Arizona is in the foster care realm of the United States? Where do we rate?
Lowest of the low.
For lowest of the low, we are the 45th for the health and welfare of children in care. So yes, on that end, we're very low. We do not do well for children educationally, health-wise, and certainly not in the foster care system. Our rates in the foster care system are the 3rd highest in the nation. Right? It's disproportionate to our population. Why? Everybody says where we're located. Everybody says Mexico. That's not it. The biggest problem we have in Arizona is there's no pre-services. So what used to happen when children came into care, they were provided with $300 a year for their needs. Now, foster parents get paid per day. Does anyone want to just kind of guess what they make a day?
I'm gonna guess $20.
You're close, it's 17 and change, but it's going down. Right, it sounds like a lot, but it really has to cover everything. One of the big expenses for me as a medical foster home was providing when these kids were in the hospital. So my children at home still needed a babysitter, still needed me to run them to wherever. So my expenses came out of things like that. We also have to do all of our transportation. In the state of Arizona, in a perfect world, newborns should be visiting their biological family 3 times a week. Guess who's driving them? Their foster families. So generally, it's in a centralized location. I live in Santan Valley. Most of my babies were out of the Phoenix area. But I've gone as far as the tribe. I've gone everywhere. I mean, I went to the California border to transport kids. So that's also our responsibility. So we used to get $300 a year, then it went down to $200, then it went down to $75, and the $75 doesn't come in one lump sum, it comes twice a year. So tell me, I see the look on your faces, which is great because that's exactly the response we want to elicit. I do not want foster families making money, but can you clothe a child on $75 a year?
Oh, wow.
You can't, and I'm thrifty and I'm careful and I can shop sales, but the reality is we cannot provide that much, and I don't want anybody not fostering or being a relative placement because of money. So if you were asked and it was your relative, your sister, and you said, boy, I love my nephew, I'd love to take him, oh, but I can't because I can't afford it. Is that acceptable? I mean, it's never acceptable that a child is not in an institution because of money.